a minute.
The worst part about the original Five Nights at Freddy's is the night length. It's 9 minutes long. That is far too long, and it gets way too long. Even on the first playthrough, you really do feel every single minute of it, and I will be honest, it does add to the horror, but it is more artificial. The best part about FNAF 1 are the designs. Everyone has said it, I've said it, but it's really true. The character designs for Freddy and the gang are legendary, really. They are able to look incredibly terrifying in the shadows and whenever used correctly, but by themselves they also look really good in, like, believable children's animatronics.
I don't really care if he's Freddy. I'm just trying to get my hands on his sweet, succulent AA batteries.
Just like with the first game, the best part of FNAF 2 are the character designs. They are all designed perfectly for what they are. The toy animatronics look cute, except Mangle, and family friendly, but they also have little quirks to them that do make them feel more intimidating. The withered animatronics are also terrifying, not only from a visual standpoint, but the fact that almost all of them tower over your character helps too. The worst part about FNAF 2 is the gameplay. It's on par with FNAF 6 for being so terrible. FNAF 2 was rushed, and the gameplay is a big giveaway. There are two fan games I want to talk about that does the music box mechanic well: Phobia the Awakening and One Out of Flumpty's 3. These two games have their own versions of the music box, that being Captain Feathersword and The Furnace respectively. The reason why these two games' music box work is because they force you to use more than one camera. In FNAF 2, you're actively detrimenting yourself if you use any camera other than the prize corner. But in One Out of Flumpty's 3, you need to use the camera other than the furnace. You need the furnace to make sure you know where the red man is. You need the hallway to make sure if you need to flash anyone or to see if Grunkfist has moved into the hallway. Then you have Phobia the Awakening. Phobia the Awakening's music box works is because Captain Feathersword, if you don't pay enough attention to him, will leave and go to another camera. You have to use the vent cameras because Greg and Anthony will move in slightly different positions every single time. You're forced in using more than one camera the entire time.
I'm starting to think there is no child.
The best part about FNAF 3 to me are the game's endings, both the good ending and the bad ending. They are incredibly beautiful and tragic. I was going to put Springtrap here, but I think I like it just a bit more than Springtrap. And as for the worst part about FNAF 3, that has to be the Phantoms. I don't mind the Phantoms, but they are by far the weakest part of this whole game. The worst is Phantom Puppet, just because, like, she's just annoying. She comes up in your face and screams at you for a few seconds, and then nothing really happens.
Okay, so the first night is never usually that bad in any of the games, so I'll play through. Ah, fuck! What the fuck?
Let's talk about the best part about FNAF 4, that being the gameplay. I really like how this game feels, outside of the breathing. The whole thing makes it feel like you're always close to being killed by one of the animatronics, and it really does add to the horror of this game. It feels like you're juggling between life and death, which is really great. And speaking of the worst part about FNAF 4, the breathing. I fucking hate the breathing mechanic in this game so much. The best part about FNAF World is the gameplay. It's fun, chaotic, and it does occasionally give you a good challenge. And then for the worst part about FNAF World, that'll have to be the RNG whenever it comes to getting characters. Especially whenever you, like, have two characters left. It really gets annoying because you have to, like, grind for hours just to hopefully get them. The best and worst parts of the update 2 for FNAF World are the minigames. I like the minigames. They're fun, and Chica's Magical Rainbow is good in what it wants to accomplish as a rage game, but as a game overall, it really is a pretty bad minigame. The best part about Sister Location is the jump scares. They're all great. most of them are great. I wish Scott would really reuse the idea of faceplates opening during the jump scare in another game. And then as for the worst part, it's Night 5. Everyone says Night 4 is the worst, and I genuinely do get it. But to me, Night 5 is worse than Night 4 by a landslide. The canonical ending has you doing fucking nothing and then dying. And then the false ending isn't much better. You do get a night similar to the other titles, which is a nice change of pace, and I really like the idea of having to survive against Ennard while having to conserve your power or else you'll die. However, the problem I have with it is the checkpoint is not after, like, the checkpoint isn't activated whenever you enter the room. Instead, it's in the control center, which means you need to run back into Circus Baby's room, enter her randomized code in under a second or else Ennard will kill you, and then get another chance after deviating from the path. I genuinely don't know why Scott did not add the checkpoint after you enter the door. And I'll be honest, the only reason why I actually completed Ennard Night on Switch, which is the only version I have of this game, is just because I wanted to 100% complete it. If it was not for that, I would have ditched this game.
Oh, shit!
The best part about FNAF 6 is the tycoon segments. Building your restaurant is fun, and it kind of adds to the horror of the game as you have to go into the night segments eventually. The mini games are also really fun, like Midnight Driver is incredibly fun. Having to collect Susie's dead dog is great. And the basketball minigame, and who could forget Helpy breaking his back, is hilarious. And as for the worst of FNAF 6, it's the gameplay. I could describe it to you, but instead I'll give you a break from my voice and just show you the footage.
The restaurant is now officially open. Awesome! That doesn't mean your job is finished, however. You have a lot of work to do while patrons eat their pizza in the other room. From your terminal, you have supply to-do list. You can log off for the day and get out of there. Money to prevent you from hearing things in adjoining air vents. That won't be a problem if they're...
I'm incredibly apathetic towards Ultimate Custom Night, so this was a bit hard to pick my favorite. But my favorite will have to be the characters' dialogue. It gives them a bit more personality, and then Mr. Hippo's is just 3 minutes of unskippable text. It's hilarious. And then the worst part about Ultimate Custom Night is the jump scares. I get why they're terrible, but that doesn't change the fact that they are terrible. The only jump scares I think are actually good are Nightmare Chica and Springtrap, even though Springtrap is just good because it's better than his original jump scare. The best part about FNAF AR are the character skins and the new characters. That's the best part about AR. And the worst part is the gameplay. You're basically just spinning around for every animatronic. There is some spice to it, like with Mangle and how you have to collect her parts and then the mask, but it boils down to just a spin. The best part of FNAF VR to me is the vent repair. I was originally going to add the first 3, but I thought that's cheating since they're just the first 3 but remade in VR. So let's go with vent repair. Vent repair is genuinely fucking terrifying, both with Mangle and Ennard. And then as for the worst part of Help Wanted, it has to be the plush babies. They're incredibly annoying no matter what level they're in. They just make that level unplayable to me. The best part of the DLC, though, is the FNAF 4 hallway minigame. That is genuinely terrifying. Just like the worst for the main game, the worst for the DLC will have to be the plush babies level. Stop including these fuckers.
Lately? Read any, like, good books, watch a movie?
The best part about Security Breach is Glamrock Freddy. I adore Glamrock Freddy. For the worst part of Security Breach, it's actually a tie between 2 things. It's collecting stuff from bags and saving. The reason why it's my least favorite is because it takes so goddamn long. I don't know why they insisted on every single thing having to hold a button down for like 5 seconds. And the second is the sprint. I get that he's a child, but at the same time it just feels like too short.